Allow me now to invite Mr. Jamshid Khodjaev, Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Uzbekistan, to take the floor.
Thank you. Dear Commissioner Sikela, my honorable colleagues from Central Asian countries, first of all, dear participants of the forum, ladies and gentlemen, I really would like to thank my honorable guests to find the time, and I'd like to outline that how our Central Asian countries, and being very busy these days, but still finding time to come to this forum in a very high level. So once again, I would like to thank all my guests, of course, our Commissioner Sikela as well. Let me warmly welcome you to Tashkent and third European Union Central Asia Economic Forum. It is a great honor to Uzbekistan to host this event, and I sincerely thank all our guests from the European Union and from across the Central Asia for being here today again. And your presence confirms a simple fact. The partnership between our regions is no longer an abstract aspiration. It is a concrete strategic priority for governments, business and financial institutions on both sides. In 2021 in Bishkek and in 2023 in Almaty, Europe and Central Asia agreed to build a bridge strong enough to carry new ideas, shared ambitions, and a new level of cooperation. Over the past 3 years, that symbolic handshake has turned into the working platform, with more partners joining, more sectors involved, and more projects moving from memoranda to implementation. This forum has already proven to be a broad and practical platform to deepen cooperation, address pressing challenges, and generate real solutions. In fact, today we host more than 400 foreign guests from 32 countries, clearly demonstrates the growing importance of this dialogue. Dear participants, we meet a moment when the global economy is being reshaped faster than ever. Fragmentation, protectionism are testing old models of development. At the same time, the green and digital transition, shifting trade routes, and the new connectivity corridors are redefining how regions compete and create value. Supply chains are being reconfigured for resilience, not just for a cost. Investment flows are searching for predictability and for partners who share the same rules and the same standards. Climate risks forcing all of us to change how we produce, transport, and consume energy. For the Europe and Central Asia, this is not time to slow down. It is a time to rethink, to rebuild, and to rise stronger. The changes around us may raise concerns, but they also open a real window of opportunity for those ready to act with the clarity, confidence, and a long-term vision. There is one lesson that stands out. Economies that collaborate grow faster. Regions that trust each other become more resilient. Partnership built on long-term goals deliver the strongest impact. This is exactly why the EU Central Asia dialogue is so crucial today. Today, Central Asia is emerging as one of the most promising regions on the global stage. A new wave of forward-looking policies, a dynamic and a young population, and a growing commitment to openness and cooperation are revealing the full potential of our nations. Our region is no longer just a transit crossroads on the map. It is becoming a rising engine of innovation, connectivity, and economic momentum, a region that can offer reliable routes, reliable energy, and reliable partners to the world economy. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 7 years, our economic partnership with the European Union has entered a new chapter of maturity and mutual confidence. Trade between the European Union and Central Asia has expanded fourfold, reaching 54 billion euro. European companies remain the dominant investors in our region, providing over the 40% of all foreign direct investment over the past decade, with more than 100 billion euro. Behind these figures lies something more important than economic activity: trust that has been earned and a partnership built with a clear purpose. The second, the European Union has opened genuine pathways for a long-term prosperity by granting tariff-free access to the EU market for 3 Central Asian countries through the GSP Tajikistan and GSP Plus Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan arrangements. This is not only about the trade preference, it's about encouraging reforms, better governance and more predictable business climate. As the global markets face growing uncertainty, the Trans-Caspian Transport Corridor has shown real progress as a reliable alternative route. In 2024, a cargo volume increased by 63% to more than 4 million tons. Clear evidence of how fast the corridor is developing. Tomorrow, EU Central Asian Trans-Caspian Corridor Investments Forum here in Tashkent is another strong step, another stone in the foundation we are building together. Together with the European Union, we are entering a new phase of strategic cooperation in the field of critical raw materials. The EU Central Asian Declaration of Intent of Critical Raw Materials, adopted as the first EU Central Asian Summit, is a solid basis for the shared vision. The Memorandum of Understanding with Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan allow European companies to intensify cooperation with our region in high-tech industries. Our common goal is clear: to move from simple extraction to local processing, higher value-added production and integrated sustainable value chains in a full compliance with the high environment and social governance standards. Central Asia has the potential to become a reliable partner, not only in the guaranteeing secure energy supplies, but also in making a significant contribution to global decarbonization. Great potential lies in the concept of the Green Strategic Corridor, linking Central Asian countries, the Caspian and the Black Seas, and Europe. This will strengthen our mutual beneficial energy ties and open new opportunities in renewable energy, green hydrogen and low-carbon industrial projects. In April, we hosted the Samarkand Climate Forum, the first event of this kind in Central Asia dedicated entirely to environmental issues and sustainable development. At this forum, we presented our green development concept, which we see as a foundation for the future of our region and for cooperation with the European Union in a water, energy, climate nexus. Financial institutions are the cornerstone of a deepening EU Central Asian partnership. Their role in driving transformative change across the region cannot be overstated. We strongly support the activation and the expansion of financial mechanisms, notably through the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development and the European Investment Bank and other global financial institutions. In 2024, the EBRD set a record for investment in the region with more than 2 billion euros, including almost 1 billion in Uzbekistan. Their growing focus on long-term sustainable projects demonstrate Central Asia's rising importance in the global economic landscape. The EBRD plans to develop a project pipeline around 7-8 billion by 2027, focusing on critical minerals and renewable energy. The EIB is preparing Memorandum of Understanding with Uzbekistan, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, with a planned investment with almost 500 million on sustainable transport, water management and climate resilience. Dear participants, this year of our partnership has gained an additional strategic dimension. The first official Central Asia European Summit, held in Samarkand, marked as the beginning of a new phase in our relationship. At that summit, the European Union announced a €12 billion global gateway investment package for Central Asia, focused on 4 key areas: the Trans-Caspian Corridor, critical raw materials, green energy and a digital connectivity. This is a clear signal. Europe sees Central Asia as a strategic partner for the long term. The signing of the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement between the European Union and Uzbekistan in Brussels, the organization of the first Central Asian European Summit in Samarkand and the hosting of two major forums here in Tashkent within 1 year clearly demonstrate Uzbekistan's and the region's strong commitment to strengthening our strategic partnership with the European Union. With our shared focus on green energy, critical raw materials, sustainable transport and digital connectivity, we are opening up a new generation of opportunities for our businesses and for our citizens. Let us build on this momentum. Let us move from visions to roadmaps, to concrete projects, joint ventures, cross-border value chains. Let us connect our SMEs, our regions and our innovations much more closely. Together we are not just participants in the process, we are the architects of the futures we are creating. I would like to once again express my sincere gratitude to all participants, to representatives of foreign governments, international organizations, financial institutions and the private sector for taking a part in today's forum and for visiting our country. I wish you a productive day, successful negotiations and a major new achievement. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. I now have the honor to invite Mr. Jozef Sikela, European Commissioner for International Partnerships, to open on behalf of the European Union.
Уважаемые господа вице-премьеры, уважаемые друзья, дамы и господа, Excellencies, distinguished guests, доброе утро. It's a pleasure to open the third European Union Central Asia Business Forum, and it's a great pleasure to be back here in Tashkent. Back in March, I had the opportunity to visit all 5 Central Asian countries in person. And I saw firsthand the rich cultures and traditions that make this region so unique. The hospitality was outstanding, and I feel it again today. I also gained an appreciation of the vast opportunities for partnership between our regions. As a former banker, I tend to look at things from pragmatic perspective, and the business case for partnership between our regions is very strong. Central Asia is home to abundant natural resources. Your population is young, skilled, dynamic, and increasingly entrepreneurial. And geographically, you sit at the crossroad of East and West, a valuable asset in today's global economy. The EU, in turn, is the world's largest trading bloc. We offer cutting-edge technological expertise, strong investment capacity, and positive experience in regional integration. Through our deepened partnership, Central Asia and the EU can boost sustainable growth for both our regions. We can strengthen resilience and create new opportunities for our citizens. The momentum is strong. In April, the first ever EU Central Asia Summit was a milestone that set the stage for stronger economic collaboration. We promised to enhance further our cooperation. Today, with this forum, we are putting our shared vision in practice. In these short remarks, I want to focus on two essential pillars for our partnership. First, trade and business climate. The EU is proud to be Central Asia's second largest trading partner, your biggest investor, and your main development partner. Last year, trade between our regions increased by close to 3%. Someone can say, not bad. For me, not enough. So we have to do more. We expect this upward trend to continue as our enhanced partnership and cooperation agreements come into effect. This EPCA promotes mutual trade and investment, improve market access, stimulates reforms, and provide the legal certainty businesses need to strive in global markets. The EPCA with Kazakhstan has been in place for 5 years now and has helped deliver substantial increase in trade and investments. So today I am pleased with the recent progress our regions have made with partnership agreements for Uzbekistan, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. We had the pleasure of welcoming the President of Uzbekistan on the occasion of the signature of the EPCA with Uzbekistan last month. This new cooperation framework will strengthen our relations. With Tajikistan, the EPCA agreement was initiated in June and we hope to sign it very soon. With Kyrgyzstan, the EPCA was signed and internal ratification is ongoing. I want to thank the many people here who contributed to these achievements. Once implemented, the partnership agreements will open new avenues for trade, diversification and long-term growth for all of us, bringing prosperity for the people. Another pillar of our partnership is infrastructure. As some of you know, the EU strategy to turn development cooperation into strategic investments is Global Gateway. It combines the resources and expertise of the EU institutions, European member states, development banks, and Europe's private sector, an approach we call Team Europe. Together as Team Europe, we deliver such investments that support our mutually beneficial partnerships around the world. To do so, we use our innovative, fair and transparent financing tools. They help us direct investments toward the countries that need it most, but also, and this is most important, to mobilize private sector. Here in Central Asia, Team Europe has mobilized €12 billion Global Gateway investment package focused on 4 sectors: transport connectivity, critical raw materials, digital connectivity, and the water, energy, climate nexus. Now, we are identifying and implementing concrete investment projects. Allow me to ground this in practical examples. When it comes to critical raw materials, we all know the biggest value for the country is produced through refining, not just extraction. Through Global Gateway, we want to support the creation of that value locally, while helping the EU to diversify its supply sources. What does it mean concretely? It means investing in critical infrastructure like transport and energy to lower the costs and carbon footprint associated with exporting metals. It means offering regulatory support to stabilize markets and attract foreign investments. It means providing training for the local workforce. It means creating jobs locally and develop value chains. It means upholding the highest environmental, social, and government standards. To seal this commitment, later this morning I will announce the signature of 6 new agreements. All of them are critical raw materials related. This will help address key barriers for the EU investors, enhance the governance, accountability, and sustainability of critical raw material value chains, and support joint project identification. The EU has benefited enormously from the free flow of goods, services, and people across our continent. I know Central Asia is moving fast and working hard on this. But for us, getting to the point where we are now did not happen overnight. It required significant investments in institutions, trust building, and economic coordination. We stand ready to share our experience with Central Asia. Dear colleagues, as in banking, I believe the best deal, the ones that last and the ones that deliver concrete, the ones that last and the ones that deliver concrete benefits for all sides. May today's forum be about that defining of the mutual benefits and delivering on them. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I wish you a productive and very inspiring day.
Thank you, Commissioner. I am now pleased to invite Mr. Joachim Holikzoda, First Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan, to offer his opening remarks.
Уважаемый Jamshid Абдулхакимович, уважаемый господин Sikela, уважаемые коллеги, дорогие участники сегодняшнего форума, прежде всего позвольте выразить признательность правительству Республики Узбекистан и Европейскому Союзу за высокое качество подготовки форума и предоставленную возможность обсудить ключевые направления экономического сотрудничества между странами Центральной Азии и Европейским Союзом. Несомненно, такая площадка является важным инструментом углубления диалога, обмена опытом и создания новых возможностей для партнерства между нашими странами. Сегодня перед странами нашего региона стоят ряд общих задач: укрепление устойчивости экономики, модернизации инфраструктуры, развитие торговли и привлечение инвестиций. Важно отметить, что мы в Центральной Азии привержены расширению межрегиональной торговли, свободного передвижения товаров, услуг, капитала и людей. Проведенный в апреле этого года в Самарканде первый саммит стран Центральной Азии и Европейского Союза стал значимым шагом на пути укрепления нашего партнерства. Уважаемые участники, наше взаимодействие с Европейским Союзом охватывает широкий спектр направлений, способствуя достижению основных целей стратегии социально-экономического развития Таджикистана. Ключевым элементом нашего партнерства остается энергетика, особенно в части развития возобновляемых источников энергии. Таджикистан, производящий 98% электроэнергии за счет гидроресурсов, обладает огромным потенциалом для расширения зеленой энергетики в нашем регионе. Мы высоко ценим вклад Европейского Союза в строительство и модернизацию наших гидроэнергетических объектов, включая гидроэлектростанции Норак, Себзо и Кайракун, и рассчитываем на дальнейшую поддержку, в том числе в рамках инициативы «Глобальный шлюз». Важное место занимает сотрудничество в сфере водных ресурсов и изменения климата. Для Таджикистана, являющийся источником значительной части пресной воды региона, устойчивое управление водными ресурсами и повышение климатической устойчивости являются стратегическими приоритетами. Отдельно хочу подчеркнуть наш интерес к развитию торгово-экономических связей с Европейским Союзом. Несмотря на существующий потенциал, объемы прямой торговли остаются относительно скромными. Мы стремимся усилить экспорт таджикской продукции на европейские рынки, в том числе используя доступные взаимные торговые преференции, такие как GSP, и совершенствуя стандарты производства. В 2024 году двухсторонний товарооборот вырос на 7,4%. Позитивная динамика наблюдается и в 2025 году. За первые 9 месяцев объем торговли почти удвоился и составил около $700 миллионов США. В этот период экспорт таджикской продукции в страны Европейского Союза увеличился более чем в 6 раз до $440 миллионов США. Такие результаты свидетельствуют о росте конкурентоспособности таджикских производителей и соответствии их продукции европейским стандартам. Вместе с тем, с сожалением констатируем, что в рамках 19-го пакета санкций против Российской Федерации Европейский Союз впервые ввел прямые финансовые ограничения по отношению отдельных банков Таджикистана. Мы выражаем обеспокоенность возможностями последствий этих санкций для макроэкономической и социальной стабильности Таджикистана. При этом рассчитываем на совместную экспортную работу и поддержку со стороны Европейского Союза в поиске решений по этому актуальному вопросу. Уважаемые коллеги, Таджикистан также приветствует взаимодействие в области аграрного сектора, продовольственной безопасности, образования, повышения квалификации молодежи, а также защиты прав человека и укрепления институтов государственного управления. Не менее важное значение для нас имеют совместные программы в сфере предпринимательства и инвестиций. Мы стремимся формировать открытую, конкурентную и предсказуемую экономическую среду, которая отвечает международным стандартам и способствует притоку как внутренних и как внешних инвестиций. Мы приветствуем участие европейских партнеров в реализации проектов, направленных на модернизацию финансовых институтов, повышение эффективности государственного управления и поддержку частного сектора. Наряду с этим правительство Таджикистана последовательно проводит масштабные реформы, направленные на создание благоприятных условий для развития предпринимательства. Существенные результаты достигнуты в сфере цифровизации всех государственных услуг. Эти шаги усиливают интеграцию Таджикистана в региональные и глобальные цепочки поставок и напрямую способствуют расширению торговли с Европейским Союзом. Уважаемые участники, для Таджикистана устойчивое развитие невозможно без управления транспортной связанности. Президент Республики Таджикистан, лидер нации, уважаемый Эмомали Рахмон, неоднократно подчеркивал важность принятия всех необходимых мер для превращения страны в полноценное звено региональной и межрегиональной логистики. При этом мы понимаем, что наряду с развитием физической инфраструктуры ключевое значение приобретают современные цифровые решения. Именно быстрый обмен данными, автоматизация контрольных процедур и электронный документооборот сегодня определяют скорость и надежность доставки товаров. Министерство транспорта Республики Таджикистан уже реализовало важный шаг в этом направлении. Запустила Центр цифровизации, который в режиме реального времени отслеживает приток, грузопоток, тем самым значительно повышая качество логистического планирования. В этом контексте цифровые инициативы Европейского Союза, включая развитие спутниковой связи и проекты цифровой связанности, приобретают особое значение для пограничных регионов и ключевых транспортных коридоров. Они создают дополнительные возможности для устойчивого развития, повышая надежность и скорость транспортных перевозок. Уважаемые дамы и господа, стабильность в Центральной Азии неразрывно связана с ситуацией в Афганистане. Таджикистан, будучи ближайшим соседом, неизменно выступает за то, чтобы Афганистан стал мирным государством, свободным от угроз терроризма и наркотрафика. Более 60% общей протяженности границы Центральной Азии с Афганистаном приходится именно на Таджикистан. Причем большая часть линий проходит по сложному труднодоступному рельефу. Именно поэтому мы придаем особое значение дальнейшему взаимодействию с Европейским Союзом в рамках программы БОМКа и КАДА, рассчитывая на учет наших приоритетов в деле укрепления и модернизации государственной границы. Хочу также отметить, что в июле 2025 года в Душанбе состоялся первый межрегиональный диалог Центральная Азия и Европейский Союз по противодействию терроризму, что стало важным шагом в расширении нашего практического сотрудничества. В заключение хочу подчеркнуть, что Таджикистан рассматривает сотрудничество со странами Центральной Азии и Европейским Союзом как важнейший компонент своей стратегии устойчивого и инклюзивного развития. Убежден, что дальнейшее укрепление взаимного доверия, углубление партнерства и совместное продвижение необходимых реформ откроет новые возможности для экономического роста и благополучия наших стран и наших народов. Желаю всем участникам форума продуктивной работы, содержательных дискуссий и значимых решений. Благодарю за внимание.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now invite Mr. Galemjan Koyshibayev, Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Kazakhstan, to address us.
Dear Mr. Khodjaev, dear Mr. Síkela, dear colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, first of all, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to our Uzbek and European friends for organizing today's event at such a high level. I would like to note that the European Union Central Asia Economic Forum is becoming a landmark platform for expanding multilateral economic partnerships. This forum holds special significance for Kazakhstan and the entire region, given our shared commitment to deepening cooperation with the EU. Just the day before yesterday, our President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, during his meeting with European Union Special Representatives, Mr. Steve Price, emphasized the importance of further strengthening multifaceted engagement and highly appreciated the constructive dialogue between Central Asian countries and the EU. A significant milestone in the development of Kazakhstan-EU relations was the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement, the 10th anniversary of which is being celebrated this year. It is encouraging to know that the EU accounts for nearly half of Kazakhstan's attracted investments and almost half of its foreign trade. Today, approximately 5,000 enterprises with European capital operate successfully in Kazakhstan, including companies such as Alstom, Klaas, Stadler, Carlsberg, Pol Pharma, and others. Furthermore, to deepen cooperation and enhance the country's investment attractiveness, a permanent Kazakhstan-EU dialogue platform operates under the government of Kazakhstan. At the same time, we are ready to make every effort to promote comprehensive regional economic collaboration. In this context, I would like to highlight the investment cooperation is a key factor of Kazakhstan's economic paradigm. Recognize the importance of this aspect, the government of Kazakhstan has set concrete objectives. In particular, we aim to attract at least $150 billion in FDI by 2029. To achieve this, large-scale reforms are being consistently implemented to drive structural transformation in the national economy. The National Development Plan of Kazakhstan until 2029 has been approved, with its fundamental task to achieve sustainable development and stable economic growth. To provide the country with critical infrastructure, the National Infrastructure Plan and the National Project for Modernization of Energy and Utility sectors have been adopted. Our logistic capabilities ensure access to the markets of China, the Eurasian Economic Union, Europe, of course, and the Middle East. In this regard, we are advancing the creation of logistics centers for wholesale and distribution networks, such as the International Center for Industrial Cooperation with Uzbekistan and the Industrial Trade and Logistics Complex with Kyrgyzstan. The Trans-Caspian International Transport Route, known as the Middle Corridor, is actively developing and serves as a key component of the global gateway strategy. A number of large-scale infrastructure projects are being implemented within its framework, including with the participation of foreign investors in international financial institutions. Kazakhstan hosts special economic and industrial zones equipped with a ready infrastructure, offering tax and custom incentives. Businesses are provided with flexible and tailored preferences, including tax exemptions, customs duty relief, in-kind grants, infrastructure provision, and more. With major investors, we assign investment agreements that guarantee legal stability for up to 25 years for projects in priority sectors. We continue to simplify administrative requirements for businesses. Nearly half of reporting types have been abolished. Work is also underway to digitalize government services for business, with over 90% already available online. The e-Gov Businesses web portal and mobile application have been launched, providing government services and support measures in a one-stop shop format. Unique business conditions are provided at the Astana International Financial Center. The availability of English law jurisdiction within the AIFC ensures transparency of legal procedures, and the center itself serves as a reliable partner in the development of financial instruments. Special attention is being given to the development of artificial intelligence and transforming Kazakhstan into a fully digital country within 3 years. The recent opening of the International AI Center, Alem AI, in Astana has become an important link in strengthening the digital cluster created to implement advanced solutions. In general, Kazakhstan is ready for long-term cooperation with Central Asian countries and the European Union to ensure sustainable joint development. Distinguished participants, today Central Asia is an area of great opportunities, thanks to the collective efforts of countries. Only through deeper collaboration we can ensure sustainable growth, develop human capital, and strengthen the global competitiveness of our region. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize the importance of today's forum and the opportunity it provides to discuss promising areas of cooperation. I am confident that the outcomes of the forum will contribute to strengthening interregional relations and addressing the pressing issues of the economic agenda. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now have the honor to invite Mr. Baket Torobayev, Deputy Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers of the Kyrgyz Republic, to take the floor.
Ассаламу алейкум, урматтуу агайын туугандар, уважаемый Jamshid Абдухакимович, уважаемый господин Jozef Sikela, уважаемые коллеги, дамы и господа, прежде всего хотел бы поблагодарить правительство Республики Узбекистан за традиционный радужный прием в гостеприимном Ташкенте. Также выражаю признательность узбекской стороне и европейским партнерам в лице господина Sikela за вклад в дальнейшую активизацию нашей экономической диалоговой площадки и последовательную поддержку регионального взаимодействия. Формат экономического форума Европейский Союз и Центральная Азия, стартовавший 4 года назад в Бишкеке, развивается динамично, а наше взаимодействие становится все более насыщенным и системным. Проводятся регулярные саммиты лидеров наших стран, и руководство европейских институтов активно функционируют отраслевые диалоговые платформы на высоком уровне, реализуются конкретные инициативы в экономической, транспортной, энергетической и гуманитарных сферах. В этих условиях мы вновь хотели бы подчеркнуть важность создания секретариата диалога Центральная Азия и Европейский Союз. Такой механизм придал бы дополнительную институциональную устойчивость нашему взаимодействию, позволил бы более эффективно координировать общую работу по реализации принятых решений и достигнутых договоренностей, а также обеспечить преемственность проектов и инициатив. Уважаемые коллеги, Европейский Союз на протяжении многих лет является важным и надежным партнером Кыргызстана. Мы высоко ценим постоянную поддержку, оказываемую европейской стороной социально-экономическому развитию страны и региона в целом. Позвольте представить несколько ключевых показателей и ориентиров, которые сегодня определяют экономическую динамику Кыргызской Республики и формируют новые задачи в контексте нашего партнерства с Европейским Союзом и странами Центральной Азии. За первые 10 месяцев 2025 года ВВП Кыргызстана вырос примерно на 10%, достигнув более 1 триллиона 427 миллиардов сомов. Этот рост во многом обеспечивает увеличение активности в строительстве, промышленности и торговле. Мы также отмечаем возросший интерес к стратегическим секторам: гидроэнергетика, критические материальные ресурсы, цифровая экономика. Все это становится частью новой инвестиционной повестки. В секторе энергетики один из важных приоритетов страны — доля гидроэнергии в общем производстве электроэнергии превышает 90%, а проект Камбаратинской ГЭС-1 с финансированием в размере 3,4 миллиарда евро, подписанным в октябре 2025 года с участием Европейского Союза, Кыргызстана, Казахстана и Узбекистана, станет мощным драйвером устойчивого развития и энергетической безопасности региона. В части цифровой экономики Кыргызстан одним из первых среди стран региона внедрил цифровой кодекс. И экспорт IT-услуг растет, формируя современную экосистему для технологических компаний. Это открывает новые возможности для европейских компаний и инвесторов, которые хотят работать в предсказуемой и комфортной среде. В сельском хозяйстве и туризме мы здесь видим значительные перспективы. Сельское хозяйство остается основой регионального развития и занятости, а туризм, включая проекты горнолыжного кластера Алатау-Резорт и экологического города Осман, формирует новые отрасли роста. Наше стратегическое направление до 2030 года включает: первое – индустриализация и развитие внутреннего производства с высокой добавленной стоимостью. Второе – превращение Кыргызстана в региональный хаб торговли и логистики, интегрированной в глобальные цепочки создания стоимости. Следующее – развитие сельского хозяйства и туризма как драйверов регионального развития и занятости. Четвертое – переход к зеленой энергетике, использование гидроэнергетического потенциала и внедрение возобновляемых источников. С учетом этих ориентиров мы особенно ценим поддержку Евросоюза в рамках инициативы Global Gateway, направленной на совместные инвестиции в инфраструктуру, зеленую энергетику и цифровую взаимосвязанность. Это долгосрочный фундамент для углубления нашего партнерства и расширения экономического взаимодействия. В последние годы мы наблюдаем устойчивый рост торгово-экономической связи между нашими регионами. Кыргызская республика активно реализует стратегический проект по строительству железной дороги Китай-Кыргызстан-Узбекистан. Этот проект станет важным звеном международной логистики и усилит сопряженность Центральной Азии с европейским пространством, сократит время и издержки на доставку грузов и создаст новые возможности для бизнеса. Торговля с европейскими странами приобретает для Кыргызстана большое значение. Важную роль в наращивании торгового сотрудничества играет торговая система ВСПС+, благодаря которой предприятия Кыргызстана имеют льготный доступ на рынок Европейского Союза. Сохранение и дальнейшее совершенствование этой льготной системы и после 2027 года станет значимым вкладом в экономику Кыргызстана, расширение экспортной базы и укрепление позиций наших предприятий на рынке Европейского Союза. Уважаемые коллеги, в заключение позвольте снова выразить признательность организаторам форума и всем участникам за внимание к развитию взаимовыгодного сотрудничества, за конструктивный настрой и готовность к диалогу. Уверен, что сегодняшние дискуссии будут содержательными и плодотворными, а принятые решения послужат во благо процветания и устойчивого развития наших регионов, укреплению дружбы, доверия, взаимопонимания между странами Центральной Азии и Европейским Союзом. Желаю успешной работы форума и новых совместных достижений. Благодарю за внимание.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now offer the floor to Mr. Babanias Yalakov, Deputy Minister of Finance and Economy of Turkmenistan.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of this forum, first of all, I would like to warmly welcome you on behalf of Turkmenistan. I express my gratitude to the Republic of Uzbekistan and the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development for their hospitality and for the excellent organization of today's meetings. I wish all forum participants productive and successful works. I am confident that this forum focused on constructive and comprehensive dialogue on the key economic and investment priorities between European Union and Central Asian states will help us identify new opportunities to strengthen our cooperation. We particularly value the relevance of the topics discussed at the Third Economic Forum, including improving the business climate, enhancing transport connectivity, cooperation in critical minerals, and developing sustainable value chains between the EU and Central Asia. Mutually beneficial and equal cooperation of Turkmenistan with the Central Asian countries and the European Union is one of the key directions of our foreign economic policy, which is developing constructively. The EU and Central Asian countries are our strategic partners in various sectors and spheres of activity. Over more than 30 years, very constructive trade relations have been established with almost all EU and Central Asian countries. According to the statistics for the first 9 months of current year, the foreign trade turnover of our state with the EU and Central Asian countries amounted to over $2.8 billion. Over 71% of the foreign trade turnover consists of Turkmenistan's export of products to these states. With each passing year, the range of Turkmen goods supplied to EU and Central Asian countries expands. At the same time, we possess a broader potential for possible areas of cooperation, which would make it possible to strengthen the economies of our states, including through the expansion of export supplies to Turkmenistan, as well as through the attraction of EU and Central Asian investments into the industrial sectors of our country. The share of EU and Central Asian states in Turkmenistan foreign trade turnover amount to about 18%. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's gratifying to note that within the framework of the Third Economic Forum, the issue of improving transport connectivity will be discussed, which together with sustainability enables us to ensure the stability of trade supplies and thereby contributes to economic development. Building sustainable transport systems, strengthening logistical links, and developing reliable transport and communication infrastructure between our states are particularly important in the current environment and global economic transformation. I would like to say a few words about cooperation with EU in the sphere of technical assistance, which has been actively developing in recent years. The European Union has provided technical assistance in the implementation of several projects, including the Ready for Trade project. In March of last year, the Global Gateway project was launched, signed with the International Trade Center Turkmenistan, enhancing trade resilience and integration with a total of €6 million. Implementation of the project is planned until March 2028. In November of last year, a letter of intent was signed between the government of Turkmenistan and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development on strengthening cooperation in support of Turkmenistan's trade and transport connectivity, environmental protection, competitiveness and investment attraction. This enables us to integrate into global and European trade and to carry out reforms in this sphere. I would like also to note that Turkmenistan is developing cooperation with the European Union within the framework of country and regional programs and projects based on separate financial agreements signed in accordance with EU Neighbourhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument for 2021-2027. All this enables us to effectively build our relations both with EU states and Central Asian countries. Our country actively supports the EU position on expanding mutually beneficial economic relations in the trade, energy, transport and environmental spheres. The development of joint programs and projects in these areas, including with the implementation of the EU strategy for the Central Asian region, as well as effective implementation of projects, all this will make it possible to improve both of economic and social living conditions of the citizens of our states. For the purpose of stimulating trade and investment and strengthening the positions of Turkmen producers in foreign markets, in July 2020, Turkmenistan obtained observer status in the WTO, and in 2022 received the status of acceding country to the WTO. We have completed work on the Memorandum of Turkmenistan's foreign trade regime. It will be submitted to the WTO Secretariat for considering in the near future. To promote trade and investment and strengthen the presence of Turkmenistan producers on global markets, Turkmenistan obtained observer status in the World Trade Organization in July 2020 and became an acceding country in 2022. And within the framework of today's meeting, we are ready to discuss the key directions of our further cooperation, to identify possible priority areas for the medium-term perspective, taking into account the interests of Turkmenistan, EU states and Central Asian countries. We hope that today constructive and multifaceted dialogue will take place on the most important priority directions of economic cooperation, which will make it possible to identify potential opportunities for improving our interactions. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize that Turkmenistan stands ready to participate actively, constructively and responsibly in multilateral cooperation on all relevant issues. Thank you for your attention.
The Aral Sea project will mobilize 48 million euros to help the socio-economic and environmental revitalization of the region by sustainably restoring degraded land. As representatives of the implementing partners, Mr. Ilkka Raisanen, rowing ambassador of Finland to Central Asia, and Mr. Kimmo Tilikainen, Director General of the Geological Survey of Finland, to join us up front. Data for CRM will focus on enhancing geodata management capabilities of Central Asian countries to meet modern geodata requirements. The next project is Secure CRM, enhancing CRM value chains in Central Asia. I invite to join us at the front Mr. Alexander Fedulov, Deputy Representative at UNODC's Regional Office for Central Asia, and Mr. Dario Ligutti, Director of the Sustainable Energy Division of UNECE. This work will help improve the governance, accountability and sustainability of CRM supply chains in Central Asia. As we turn to the next project, I invite Mr. Matteo Patrone, Vice President for Banking at the EBRD. This project, Grow CRM, expanding CRM activities in Central Asia, will continue the EBRD's work to expand CRM activities across Central Asia by supporting the identification and development of joint CRM projects. Our fourth regional project is Border Management Program in Central Asia, better known as BOMCA. I asked Mr. Radim Žak, Head of Region for Eastern Europe and Central Asia at the International Center for Migration Policy Development, Mr. Alexander Fedulov from UNODC, Mr. Philippe Tabarot, Minister of Transportation of France, and Claire Verde from Interpol. BOMCA enhances border security, improves community welfare, and fosters regional cooperation for safer and more prosperous border communities. Finally, we turn to the Central Asia Drug Action Program, CADAP. I invite Mr. Francisco Tierra Seca, Director of the International and Ibero-American Foundation for Administration and Public Policies, Ms. Beatriz Moreno de la Vara, FIAP Project Manager, along with Mr. Fedulov, UNODC, to join us for this stage. Mr. Tabarot, please stay with us for this project. CADAP will help strengthen efforts for prevention and education while supporting strategies to combat drug trafficking and enhance international cooperation. This concludes our ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. We will now have a very short coffee break in the foyer outside. The panel session on drawing the lessons from EU Central Asia cooperation will begin in this room shortly.